coming on this frigid night. Before we get started, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, verification of notice?
The meeting was duly noticed.
Great. Is there anyone in our audience that would like to make public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. We'll start with approval of the minutes from December 12th, 2025. You have that in front of you. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes of the special town board meeting, December 12th, 2025.
Okay, have a motion
I'll
by
second.
Troy. Jimmy second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the meeting minutes from December 12th, 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. We'll move on to the meeting minutes of our town board meeting on December 16th, 2025.
Do we need your mics turned on?
Oh, thank you.
Well, I say yours, not mine.
I can make a motion to approve the December 16th, 2025 minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Jimmy and a second by Tom. Any further discussion? Okay. All right, we have a motion and second. Any further comments? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the minutes from December 16th, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Wendy, can you just tip it down a little bit? There you go. Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda was for report from fire chiefs. Unfortunately, they weren't able to attend tonight. They had scheduling conflicts. So we'll move on to number 6, update from Badger Solar. Please come up. So for the audience, a few years ago, there was a PSC approval of Badger Solar on the eastern part of Oakland into town of Jefferson. And so,
Go.
Hey, Jason, we didn't, thank you for coming.
I didn't think it was going to be that late, but
Oh, that's all right. We have
made it.
Chief Russ from Lake Mills here. Thank you for coming.
hey, thank you. So my report should have been received by all of you, I hope. I'm not really going to speak too much. I do have a little bit of a cold going on, so don't want my voice to dry out. Biggest things for Oakland, we did have a fire on County Highway A here in the township, and that fire was contained to the basement. It's probably one of our worst fires that we can go to as a basement fire, simply because you have to go through a lot of the heat to get down to where the fire is. But it was contained to kind of the area of origin that it started. The young lady that was residing in the house stated that she had smoke in the house for quite a while before we had gotten there. And we did get her out. It was rather cold that night, and got her to a place that was warm in her car. And no injuries. Everything went really well at that fire. So that's probably the biggest thing for the town of Oakland. Just kind of a safety update for everybody, though. Anybody who is using space heaters, please make sure that you use them safely. Make sure that any safety devices such as tip over, anti-tips type stuff is active. Make sure that you have smoke alarms make sure that you have good clear space around them, so always good information for citizens, and try not to leave them unattended the best as possible. I'm not saying that any of the fires that we've had as of recently were cause of that, but it's just one of those things to keep everybody aware of, so this is a safety tip. We ended the year with 351 calls. That was a little bit of an uptick. You should see that in the report as the percentage of an uptick. That really is from the town of Oakland coming on board, which we were expecting. We were expecting roughly within that ballpark of percentage increase, so it was nothing that took us by surprise by any means. We are not going to have the quarterly meeting in January. We had some issues with a couple other townships and other previously scheduled meetings, so we're going to probably push that back to beginning of March or mid-March to make the first quarter. So I will be sending an email out on that tonight. Any questions that you may have for me based on the reports that I provided for you?
Any news out on the ice?
So we did have a water rescue over the weekend. A snowmobiler did go through the ice on the south side of Rock Lake, right by the rail trestle or the walking bridge, the bike path over there. Patient was brought out of the water quick. Really nothing that was surprising. The most difficult part of the water rescue there was the embankment from where the walking trestle bike path is down to where the water was. One of the things that I kind of equate that to is the trestle's brown, it absorbs a lot of heat, pushes a lot of heat, follows through the timbers, makes the ice in those areas probably just a little bit less, and also that's a channel through there. So a little bit of water flow always makes for unstable ice conditions in those areas. We haven't had anything else out on the lakes, so everything seems to be going good there.
Thank you.
Any
Thanks.
other-
All right, easy crowd.
Great. Thank you so much for coming and
Have a good night.
You
doing
too.
all hard work. Scott Gibbons, let's try this again. We'll move back to the update from Badger Solar. Thank you for coming all the way up to Wisconsin.
Yeah, thank you all for having me. So I'm Scott Gibbons. I'm the project manager at Desiree. You might hear my title referred to as a PDL. That's like the official role. It's project delivery lead. You can just think of it as a construction PM, basically. I have Jared Stensby with me. He's one of our construction managers we have on site daily. There's also Bill Byler. He wasn't able to make it tonight, but I come up to site about once a month or so, tour the site with those guys, and we make sure everything's working well. Things that are more boots on the ground day to day, that's Jared and Bill handling for us. So just to give some background on Desiree, you might remember that the project was formerly with Ranger. Y'all might have talked with Emily Straka. She was the development project manager for them. On October 10th last year, that was when Desiree completed ownership and took over the project from Ranger. So Desiree is going to own the project through construction, through operation for the full design life of the project. So you'll see Desiree on all things going forward. Desiree is an independent power producer. We have 11 gigawatts of production in wind, solar, and battery storage projects. Badger is our first project in Wisconsin, but we do have a couple more in development right now. Badger is a 186 megawatt DC and 149 megawatt AC project. I like to mention both of those just because you might hear both thrown around, but essentially the DC is what the actual solar panels can produce, but then that has to get converted to AC power with our inverters, and so it's actually getting pushed onto the grid is that 149 megawatts of AC power. The EPCs we're using, that's our engineering, procurement, and construction contractors. We're using Bolt for the PV, that stands for photovoltaic, but you can just think of it as the solar array part of the work. Bolt is based out of Appleton, Wisconsin, and that's B-O-L-D-T. There's a D before the T. And then for the HV, that's the high voltage work. That'll be the actual substation and short run of transmission line. Essentially, the power that's produced from the solar array has to be stepped up to a higher voltage to get sent to the transmission line. It connects at Jefferson Substation, which is under ATC, American Transmission Company, and KEG, that stands for Consulting Engineers Group. They're based out of Lakeville, Minnesota. A quick rundown on project status. All civil work is essentially done. All grading, access roads, side entrances, and culverts are complete. The most significant on-site work now is pile install. We're about 50% done with that. In our latest daily report, we have 136 workers on site, so we've got a good crew, a lot of progress being made out there. We're actually slightly ahead of schedule right now with substantial completions, our biggest milestone target, and that's still on target for January 31st, 2027. We're currently holding July 31st, 2026 as backfeed date, so that's when the substation will first have power, and then a week or so after that will be when the solar array will actually sync up to the grid, and then we can actually start pushing power a little bit after that. So as of right now, that's looking like the August time frame, but we do think we have some opportunity to bring that in to the left a little bit, so we'll see how that develops. And then finally, wanted to just mention financials, so some benefits from the project that help out Jefferson County, Oakland Township, and Jefferson Township. So Jefferson County receives up to $347,000 annually from the project, and then the towns of Jefferson and Oakland will receive up to $248,000. That $248,000 will be split between Jefferson and Oakland based on the number of megawatts AC that are produced within each township. So the total annual payment will be right in the neighborhood of that $596,000. And then that's the rundown we have of the project, some background on Desiree, but happy to answer any other questions y'all may have.
Could you explain just for the people in the room and anyone who would watch it on YouTube, the boundaries of the project, where it's located?
Yes, yeah, so it's, we have land that goes north of Highway 18, and then it will be as far east as Highway 89, and then we have Perry Road where it bends kind of around that'll be the western portion of the project, so it's Perry Road, Highway 89, and then along County Road G as well. We have our main laydown yard. It's actually in Lake Mills. That's about the most northern end of our project that it'll go.
So how do we negotiate a better payment for Oakland Township?
Say that one more time. Oh, a better.
How do you determine the amount that we get?
Okay, so it's basically where the panels are being built. It's just we will calculate the megawatts based off of that, and just the megawatts that are in Oakland Township. I believe it's $1,667 per megawatt AC. I'll have to fact check that. It's in the joint development agreement. But for every megawatt in Oakland Township, that's what you'll get paid for. Every megawatt in Jefferson Township, that's what they'll
So we get paid per megawatt?
Yes, correct.
Any guess what that split is going to be out of the 248?
I
Real rough estimate?
I have to double check that. I know that was something we discussed before, Laura. I need to get a map with our project and our engineers. We need them to draft that up for us.
Sure. What's the total acreage that project covers?
Jared, do you know by any chance what the total acres are?
What was the,
I want to say it was in the 700 range. Yeah.
In Oakland or the whole project?
Whole project.
How much of that's in Oakland Township?
I'd have to double check that for you, sorry.
That would be a good estimate.
Yeah.
At least a starting spot.
Yeah, that's true.
So for people here, the ranger at the time, and then the county and the two townships do have a joint develop agreement that indicates ways to develop the project, what happens, where it's located. So one of the items was, for instance, that we videotape the roads. And so at the beginning, before you start, so we know the condition of the roads, and then the roads that you'll be using, and then at the end of the project, it'll be videoed again, and then any damage to the roads. There's a lot of traffic, lots of big vehicles, so if there does happen to be any damage, then those will be repaired at the cost of the developer, whether that would be you or.
Yes, yeah, that would be us, yeah.
And so that was done. Do you remember, Jimmy, or anyone?
When we did that?
was-
A few years back now.
It was a few years back,
2022.
I think
2022.
2022.
So the agreement just transfers to the new owners?
Yes.
Yes.
So regardless, I mean, you've taken ownership of our
Yeah,
agreement.
we have
Yeah.
everything, yeah, absolutely. And there's also the decommissioning that's covered in there
Yes.
as well. We put up a decommissioning security, and then we'll also be responsible for decommissioning the project at the end as well.
What was the life of the project?
So we have, it's 40 years. We have options with our landowners to extend our leases up to that 40-year mark, but usually that's what we plan for, is around 40 years.
And then what? You just stop, or why would you stop, I guess?
I mean, I guess it could be renegotiated at
Oh,
that point, but.
the leases end, and then you gotta go start over.
Yeah,
okay.
right now, like, all of our financing and our whole business model is based on a 40-year production life.
And at the end of the lease, you're required to remove the equipment, is that?
Yeah, all the piles from the ground, yeah, we have to decommission everything.
Yep.
And there is language in there too about the cost share and securing those costs throughout the project.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, before, I believe it was in, I want to say July or August of last year, we got an updated decommissioning report with an estimate of what we think that would be, and we posted our security based on that more up-to-date estimate.
and the utility revenue that we will be getting is also
Yes.
in there and secured as far as this is how much we will be getting, so that's not changing.
Does
Yeah.
the rate we're getting fluctuate on the price of energy? Like, if the price of energy goes way up, do we get more, or do you resume all that profit, or how does that work?
So our PPA structure, that's like a power purchase agreement, and we have that with it's Dairyland Power Cooperative is who we have that with. We have a fixed rate for that, and so that's already fixed. But even if the market rate were to change, we're still fixed at our rate, so it wouldn't fluctuate. But also the JDA, there was no fluctuation terms. in
So it's a
there.
fixed rate?
Yeah.
So that power stays locally? I mean,
So once the power hits the grid, it can really be distributed wherever. It'll be up to Dairyland Power Cooperative what they're planning to do with it.
so you don't have anything to do with that?
That's right, yeah.
So what about, I've heard in Christiana that some of the deer population have gotten caught inside the fences.
Okay.
Do you have DNR helping?
So we had DNR approve our design. They do an endangered species resource review and a lot of other files we had to submit. And we install, it's an 8-foot game fence around the project. So all of the deer should be kept out theoretically by that 8-foot game fence. I'm not sure about the one in Christiana. I don't know if they had that same thing or not.
Yeah,
but-
I don't know the details. I just know that people were complaining about seeing these deer inside the fence, and it appeared that they couldn't get out.
Okay, during construction, we're still installing our fence. It's not up yet, but we would make sure to best of our ability that there would be no deer in there, and then if there were, we would remove them however we could.
Is that something normal? Does that happen?
I'm not familiar with that on our other projects, I don't think deer are getting stuck in there.
A lot of deer in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I guess this is our first project in Wisconsin,
Ah.
so it could be something we have to deal with, yeah.
And it depends on the season, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, just as long as we know that that would be watched for, then.
Yeah, for all wildlife. We even have one, it's I believe it's a blanding turtle is the name of it. That's like a species
Yeah.
we have to watch out for on
Yeah.
site.
They're
so-
endangered.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're very aware of the wildlife restrictions.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
is your plan for the vegetation? I know each project could have different types of vegetation that you'll plant once it's all installed.
Yeah, so we'll have a go out to bid for vegetation management. That'll be handled by our asset management team. So once we get the project to that substantial completion milestone I was saying, then there'll be an asset manager that'll take over the project from there. And that's who y'all be coordinating with from that point on. But they have a bid process for vegetation management in the area, and just whoever has the most competitive bid, that's who we would ultimately award that to.
And it would be more like prairie grasses or flowers?
Yeah, there's a specific seed mix that we had to get approved and submitted to DNR. I remember prairie grasses being mentioned as one of them.
What happens like within the solar panel rows? Do you guys have to maintain it, like mow it, or is it just?
Yeah, you have to mow it.
You actually do mow it?
Yeah. And so that's why you need like to have qualified contractors, because you don't want to be hitting rocks up and damaging the panels themselves. There is things you can do, like you can put the panels in a stow so it's horizontal, and then it's easier to mow underneath. But that's why it is important we get a good contractor selected for that.
So if you get online in August, when will the two towns and the county start seeing payment, and how often would we receive the payments?
When I read the JD, it said it was an annual payment, so I would think it would just be paid at the end of the year. I'd have to go back and look at the specifics, but I just saw it was just one annual payment.
And then since it would be up and running potentially in August, we would get a payment at the end of that year, and it would just reflect the half-a-year production.
So it might be a little tricky the first year, because since it's based off of those megawatts, like I was saying, since we wouldn't be producing the full megawatts, we'd have to get to the nitty-gritty and like calculate that. I'll need to look at the JDA to see if it starts at the first year of when we're at full operation, or if it is just from when we first push power. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Okay. We can take a look at that too.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, great. Thank you so much. Oh, and I guess I wanted to say that Jeff Shield, our road supervisor, does drive around, and he's been really pleased with the project. The neighbors don't have any complaints. He's saying that it's been kept very clean, and there's no real issues with runoff, erosion, anything like that. So he's been pleased with what's happening out there right now.
Okay, nice. We like hearing that good feedback, and we share that with our EPCs as well, so they know they're doing good work. From all the participating landowners we've talked to, they've had good feedback to say so far, so that's been nice to hear. Thank you.
Good.
What do you guys do about hail damage? Like, we have a lot of hailstorms here.
Yeah, so that is basically we have insurance that covers some of that, and then we also just have a contingency we plan for in our budget just for
Do
things
they
like
break
that.
the panels though, the hail?
They can, yeah. Yeah, I know in certain areas, like where hail's more troublesome, they even have steeper stow angles you can put the panels at, so it's less likely for them to get struck by the hail.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Interesting. Well, as we get closer, if you ever want to come back, if you're in town during our meetings, or maybe once you're completed, we'd love to have you come back and give us another update.
Yeah, sounds good, and I'll look into the megawatt split between the county, or between the townships, and also when that first payment starts.
Okay. If you just email me, then I will make sure all of the supervisors get those answers.
Don't forget about the
Okay.
deer.
And the deer, yeah, as well.
If we get turtles over there, that'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah, we did a full environmental training, and it's in whenever anyone comes to site. One of the orientations, one of the slides is we always talk about the turtle, so
Good.
everyone's head on a swivel
Awesome.
for that. Thank you all very
Great.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. All right. We will move on then to discussion and possible action on Humane Society contract. So we have this contract every year, so everyone should be familiar with that. If you know, any of the animals, the pets, dogs need to be taken to the Humane Society. We do have this agreement with them that we pay annually.
This is one of them things where we don't have a choice unless we take it over ourselves, right?
Yes. Yes.
Is
So-
the payment $9,009.98?
Yes,
Well, if we pay annual, then we get a little bit of a
Saving.
break.
Yeah.
right,
Yes,
right.
and that's what I recommended to Laura Lowry in the office, that we do is go with the early payment in January, so we could save that money on it. We took and we looked at, Laura Payne and I looked at the difference between last year's total, where they talk about how many or what the fee is per citizen in town of Oakland, and it only went up, what did we say?
4 cents.
It
So it
up
went
4
from
cents.
2.74 to 2.78. And so if we pay a lump sum in January, we will pay 8,874, and last year we paid 8,850. So it's not much of an increase.
I'll make a motion to approve the Jefferson County Humane Society payment of $8,874.83.
Okay. You have a motion. Anyone would like to second?
Second?
Okay. Any additional comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the Humane Society contract in the amount of $8,874.83, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. We will go on then to number 8, discussion and possible action on donation to Jefferson County Clean Sweep. So the last year, we donated $150. It is a Jefferson County program. It's a really great program where citizens around the county can drop off their hazardous waste for about $10 for as much as they want. It is a great program, so it doesn't get into the landfills or into the environment, but it is expensive for the county, so they do ask for donations. And last year we donated $150.
150 we did last year?
Yes.
We want to do more or less or the same, or?
Well, none of the programs are in our area, in Oakland, though. I mean, can we ever get any?
Well, they have drop-offs, and there's
Whitewater
one.
and Jefferson, I think, right?
Yes.
Right,
You have to take
Jefferson.
it.
or
Yes, so
the-
everyone has to go to the, it's not very far from here. You just have to go to the fairgrounds.
Drop it off.
So for prescriptions, does our police department take prescriptions?
That's a good question. I
'Cause
don't
know
know.
the village, well, when the
Jessica's
village
right
contracts
out
with
there, I
the
think.
Dane County Sheriff's Department, and I know they do have a drop-off, but you have to wait until the officer is in the office.
Right. Some of the pharmacies take the pharmaceuticals back, but that would just be for the pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Here, it's for
We
the
actually get
hazardous
a-
waste, like used oil, if somebody changes their oil.
We actually get a notice in the mail, right? We get a mailer that says when they're doing
Yes,
it.
in your
Right.
tax
Yeah,
bill,
yeah.
you do. And then it is online, and when it's approaching, we do put something on our website noticing that Clean Sweep is coming up. And
What,
then
do you know
any-
what the other towns do? How much they give?
I don't.
You know? You guys want to give more, less, or the same?
With the budget concerns, I'd say we'll keep it the same.
Same?
I would say the same. I think, Jimmy, you raised it from 100 to 150 last year.
Did I?
Yes,
Okay,
or 2 years ago or last year. So we had the same conversation.
okay.
So Jimmy,
Okay, I'll make a motion to donate $150 to the Clean Sweep contribution.
Okay, have a
I'll
motion on the
second
floor?
that.
David, second. Any further comment? Hearing none, all in favor of donating $150 to the Jefferson County Clean Sweep Program, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll send that off. We have the form here that
Yep.
Wendy
go
will
ahead.
fill out.
Yep, I'll get it filled out.
Okay, so move on to discussion and possible action on operator's license for Sierra Stevenson.
I have run a background check on her, and there are no outstanding warrants. There's basically nothing showing up on her. She does currently have, it says in the past 2 years, she's had an operator's license at City of Jefferson at Herbie's Bar. So she would be in line, would be a good candidate to offer this license to.
And she'll be at the Mink Farm.
And she'll be right at the Mink Farm.
Okay.
So she doesn't need to complete the beverage server training?
Since
She didn't mark anything.
She didn't mark anything there, but she did show me her card. She
Oh.
has a card. That,
Okay.
the same way with Ashley Green, the
Okay.
next one that's coming up.
Okay, thank you.
And Ashley, I also ran a background check on her. She is the next one there, Ashley Laurel Green.
Okay, let's take a vote first.
I'll make a motion to approve Sierra Stevenson's liquor
Okay.
license.
Okay,
So Jimmy?
Jimmy made a motion. Anyone like to second?
Second?
Okay, Tom second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving an operator's license for Sierra Stevenson, say aye.
All right?
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we will move on then to discussion possible action on operator's license for Ashley Green.
And I noticed she does not have on here where she's going. I see she filled it out, but I see she doesn't have her who, what's that?
Is that
It's for
you?
Ripley? Okay,
Okay.
sorry, she doesn't have it on here.
That's okay. Silver Lake, you said?
Like
Ripley.
Ripley. Again, I ran background check on her, and there is nothing there.
Other than what
Pardon me?
she does state that she had a violation.
That did not come up when, so maybe it's old enough ago that I don't get that record. I don't know how
Was
far
it-
back it goes.
Was it a municipal ticket?
I ran it for,
Sorry, where's my-
put it into the Wisconsin state one, and nothing came up there. That I can tell you, but I don't know how far back it goes.
Okay, so you're not Ashley? No, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were
Yeah, I was
answering that
getting
question.
confused too. That's okay. So you're just the owner of the manager, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome to come sit if you had any additional comments. Okay.
Okay, so you're the new manager of Lake Ripley Inn, is that what I heard? I know you've been there, but are you the new manager? No? You are the manager. Okay, thank you. I thought you said Ashley too. I thought that was Ashley. Sorry. They didn't answer number 1 here. Is this a renewal or a renewal? It must be a, she's been there before.
She had a license, it expired.
Hey, Siri.
She didn't renew it the last time, so
How
I
do
think
I-
she just didn't know what to check.
Sure.
She's been licensed in the town
Unhide
before.
my hidden
It
apps.
expired, so she didn't know if she should put new or renewal.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think was the confusion for her.
Okay.
She's been licensed here before though,
Okay.
so.
What would that be
So-
then? We're going to call that new then because she expired?
So if nothing showed up, this may not have gone through the gambit yet, the court proceedings yet.
It depends on how old it was.
She's had nothing new, I know that.
Okay.
She's licensed currently in Jefferson.
Okay. Because I was going to say, the next one that we'll be looking at, he has some older offenses on there, and those do not come up on the government
Really? I
thing.
thought that-
The only way I was able to find them was by pulling up his old application. And if the police could go further than that and look, I don't know, but using what tools I had available, only the most current one shows up.
Okay.
And if it was a recent, it would, even if it was it hadn't gone to court yet, it would still show up in the system.
Well, not necessarily. Depends on if it's gone through if it's a municipal charge, it won't go on
Okay.
until the actual court proceeding.
Do you know how that works with municipal OWIs?
They're a municipal court, so they won't show up on her CCAP, but they would show up on her driving record.
Okay, and I don't check driving records. I check the CCAP.
Yeah, that,
But as long as you don't have any problems.
No, she's worked for us for years, honestly. She hadn't worked over here bartending. She'd been serving for us, so she didn't need to be licensed. But she's bartending on and off, and now I want her to just fill in occasionally bartending. I have absolutely no problems with her.
Yeah, she's been there a long time.
She has worked for us on and off, honestly, for probably at least 10 years.
I mean, we've talked about these forms a lot. I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is, are they being truthful in the form? And really, we really don't. As long as information's in front of us, that's what we're asking for. So I'll make a motion to approve Ashley Green's operator's license.
Second.
I actually do have one other comment. I apologize. So I'm just looking now. So have you completed a responsible beverage server training course in Wisconsin within the last 2 years? It says no. Is that a requirement? That's a requirement to get the
You
operator's
probably know more
license?
about it than I do,
Current
actually.
license, you don't need it. So as long as you keep a current license somewhere, you don't need to take the course. So she's been current somewhere. So as long as you stay current somewhere, you don't need to continually take the course. So like I took the course personally like 30 years ago. I've just continued to keep a license in a municipality somewhere that long. So I have not taken the course in 30 years.
Okay.
So.
All right. So we don't need to be concerned about that.
You do not need to worry about that.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. So we do have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
I did.
Jimmy, and second?
Me?
Tom? Okay.
Okay. All in favor of approving an operator's license for Ashley Green, say aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Did we ever have a follow-up on our guy that was? had
That is
court pending?
next on our agenda.
I didn't see it.
We did have to,
We had to amend the agenda.
we have to amend the agenda. So you,
I've got
on
an
your
old one.
on your desk, there was a revised.
Oh, okay, I see it.
Okay.
I'm on the wrong one.
That's okay. We'll move on to 11, discussion and possible action on operator's license for John Henricks. So this is the one that came to us
Right.
about 6 months ago. And we gave him a conditional for just 6 months instead of a full year. And did you want to explain some of what you found out now?
Here's what I found out. And I dug into it because obviously I started in November. I knew nothing at all about what this was about when I was told to look into it. I pulled up his original application stating that he had been arrested twice, once in '92, once in '94, and then the third time March the 21st of 2025. I did a little digging to find out more about this last incident. The last incident, there are 2 pending charges, and I talked to Tom because, again, I don't know a lot about the whole thing. And the 2 charges, one would be for OWI, which would be a 3rd offense. The other potential charge would be, it's called PAC,
Yeah,
which is violating
it's the, above the alcohol content.
prohibited alcohol content. Thank you. So in doing some further research, so I could kind of determine what the 2 differences were, my understanding was in OWI, you can observe them driving unsafely, suspect that it's either alcohol or drugs, but don't have to have proof of that.
On that offense, you get the blood draw and wait for those results.
Can we have her come out and speak to us if she's going to speak? I can't hear you back here. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, come.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
if you, well,
So I think the main thing is that he did have the PAC above the legal limit.
the PAC he was also charged with, so in my reading, that means that they actually did a blood draw or a breathalyzer, and they found the limit to be over. Is that correct?
Yep, you don't usually issue the PAC until you have those results.
Okay.
And at the time he came before us, he was pending his court hearing. And now the court hearing has been delayed again because the arresting officer, I don't know if we call it officer giving the violation, I'm not quite sure how you would frame it, is deployed. So he is not going to court until September of 2026. So we had him come back after 6 months because his initial trial was supposed to be then. And so we gave him until then to come back and see where he stood.
He was supposed to do a monthly report to us, wasn't he?
Per the minutes, he was supposed to turn in a receipt to Susan, I believe it was every week, for the monitoring bracelet, anklet, whatever you want to call it, that he had on. In looking at the court stuff, it says that his attorney filed a motion that the charges for the bracelet were going to go up, and since the arresting officer's deployment was so long out, they felt that it was an undue burden to him to have to continue to pay for this thing while he waited for this guy to come back. And that motion was granted. So he is no longer reporting in to us.
But it's my understanding that he did fulfill his requirement of bringing his weekly receipts to Susan while he had
it on.
So I believe he fulfilled
So
that.
did he bring this up that he wants it extended, or?
He contacted Jimmy over the weekend, and with a new clerk, it hadn't been on the agenda, but we were able to get it on the agenda yesterday. And so I'm surprised he's not here today.
Yeah, in a text to me, he said he couldn't make the meeting, but he just
Okay.
contacted me and asked why it wasn't on the agenda. I reached out to Laura, I don't know.
Yeah, and so we just discussed it because
I knew nothing
Yeah,
about it.
so
I had to
it's
go
not a
digging in-
typical-
I
it's
had to
not
go
typical.
digging in the minutes.
So it sounds like
to
the
find it.
circumstances haven't changed.
they haven't changed. Unless you would like to give us any information on,
We don't really have much to say without our attorney, so we've hired an attorney as well
Sure.
because of all this. So, we know about as much as you do.
Mhm.
So if
Okay.
you don't tell us anything, it's put us also in a,
and he's been continuing to bartend at your establishment. Okay.
I will have to say, and this was something else I found out, City of Lake Mills did deny him a license there. Reason being, because of the third offense. Because apparently they asked him for proof of the ongoing beverage licensing or a license showing that he had been working in another municipality, and apparently he did not provide either to them.
I think we knew they had denied him the last time.
Yes, we
around.
did know
That was,
that.
that's old
Yeah,
information.
That's it.
Well, for me, it was new, Tom. All of it was new.
So what I'm hearing is,
Circumstances haven't
everything stayed the
changed.
same, except his court date got extended
Yep.
further out. We've agreed to give him the license pending his court date, which hasn't happened yet. So in my opinion, why would we change anything if the data hasn't changed for us to make a logical decision? We did have our lawyer here last time when we made our decision, and he did recommend what we were doing was fine. So
Yeah, he
unless
didn't
something
recommend
else
we
has
did it,
changed-
but he did say we could if we wanted to. It was
Right,
at our
and we did.
discretion. At the time, he did have the monitor on him for
Right.
drinking, which he does not have now. And I only felt comfortable because he did have that on. So, I think that, we have to
his
ensure that
circumstance.
condition that, he's not going to be drinking at the, at work and fulfilling any kind of, he probably has no drinking requirements
mean,
as part of his.
You're innocent until proven guilty on this last charge, and he
Which
hasn't
is-
been heard yet, so unless there's something else.
Why, he reached out to you?
He only reached out to me because he wasn't on the agenda,
Okay.
and I reached out to Laura with that message.
And now he knows that he was put on the agenda?
He said in a message to me he couldn't make the meeting. That's all he
Oh.
said.
Okay,
all he
so
told me.
we know that he was not able to make.
Correct.
tonight. Oh, okay. I didn't know if he just decided not to come, or?
No, he told me he couldn't make the meeting for whatever reason. I don't know if he told me why. But he said
I'll
he
have to
provided.
say, I am just going to tell you, it does make me a little uncomfortable being just new into this position. Having someone who has had this many offenses, it makes me a little uncomfortable. They are all related directly to the work he is doing.
Yeah, we had this conversation before.
Well, I'm just telling you, I don't know how Susan felt about it. I am new to it, Jimmy. I am trying to follow and learn the ropes and do everything the right way. And I'm just telling you, it does not, I am not comfortable. You guys will ultimately make which decision you're making, but I'm just letting you know, I am not comfortable with it.
Thank you for your opinion.
Well, and she did the.
Susan wasn't comfortable with it either.
No, and the PAC is a fact, that's not in question.
Yes,
So
there's no changing
there's
that.
no changing that. It is basically in September what the sentencing is my understanding. Is that correct?
I don't have a case number. Do you?
Okay, I don't know.
Well, it depends on, I mean, he can
Yeah,
fight that as well as what, if it was a legal draw or not.
yes, of course.
He could, but they probably usually do a search warrant if they're a refusal, and then he goes
Well,
to a
and
refusal hearing and everything else too.
Normally, it's dropped anyway, if you're
So you can
convicted
only
of.
be convicted of one. The
Yes.
OWI and the PAC.
Yes.
The PAC is usually
The one that they,
dismissed without the penalty, but you're convicted of the OWI.
Yeah, that's normally what happens.
Which would make it the third.
And at that point, he would not be eligible to continue his employment. But I think we need to go to that date.
I agree too.
well,
Is it actually up now?
What's that?
Did he say when his license is expired?
well, we
Oh,
gave
we-
him
we
6
ex-
months. We gave
yeah.
him 6 months.
We gave him a 6-month.
All
From-
of the license will then take and expire, it's my understanding, in July.
Yes,
They all become eligible for renewal at that point.
but we did not give him the full year because of his pending case.
And he said he was going to go back to trial when? Did they know?
September of
They
2026.
said September
September?
is
So-
what they were
Is that
saying.
the correct spelling of his name on here?
I don't know.
And-
HINRICHS, yes.
His current license hanging at the bar does go through June.
June?
It is dated through June.
What
His
now?
current license that was issued is dated
So
through
the end of June, probably?
like all the licenses.
Okay.
Okay,
It's
okay.
dated the same as all of our
Yep.
licenses. His
He has a
just
status
license.
conference on 3/23 at 10:30 a.m. in Jefferson County.
When is that?
3/23/26 at 10:30 a.m. Branch 3.
March 23?
Yes.
Oh,
I think that's just status. isn't
That's a
it?
status
Yes.
conference.
It wouldn't be scheduled for trial already.
Okay.
From what the cops that have called me to discuss this with me have said, there is nothing going to happen until the deployed officer comes back. So I've been stuck kind of
Mm-hmm.
on this
Limbo.
waiting.
And the deployed officer was the arresting officer?
Correct.
Oh, okay. That's why they're waiting.
So
I mean, we
my
hate to
question
go
is, if
back
you're
on
gonna
what we've
say,
already
"Here's your
done.
license," I guess my question as the boss is, if you're gonna say, here's your license, under the condition you don't drink while you're working, who's policing that? Me? Because I'm not taking that responsibility. Like,
Okay.
as his boss, no way, absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm not taking that, and the owner's not taking that, and my other employees aren't taking that.
Does he,
That is not logical, and we're not taking that
Okay.
responsibility.
does he have conditions? So,
What are conditions? What do you mean?
Bail
I
conditions.
can read you them since they're public.
When you go out on bail, they,
Yeah, you can't like be in, so
You
no
couldn't be sit-
consumption of alcohol, no presence in bars, taverns, liquor stores except for
presence.
employment purposes.
Okay.
Not to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. And then, but yeah, he does have the conditions that,
Of not drinking?
no drinking at all.
Well, we could approve it upon him following the conditions. And if he
Who's gonna
doesn't?
police that though? That's like, I think the concern.
To
is,
Jefferson
That's what
County.
Huh?
Jefferson
Who's
County.
monitoring that? Like, that's just it. Like, you have to trust that he's not gonna drink and
right,
He's
the
an
only
adult.
way that would change is if he got picked up and then they tested him again.
yes.
Yeah, the monitor thing going away.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
monitor's
nothing's
gone.
changed except they extended his court date, so
And they
I'm
re-
still
and
in the
they-
same position I was last time.
Well, and they took the monitor away, which was.
Because they appealed it, yeah, because they extended it and
Yeah.
raised the cost, right?
But
So
if you-
I'm where I was last time.
Okay.
Okay, all right, any further discussion?
Well, we didn't have a motion yet.
Okay, anyone like to make the
Is there a
motion?
need for a motion if his license extends to
His
June
license
already?
is good.
I don't know if there's a
Unless we
need
can-
for a motion.
How can we revoke his license? The circumstances haven't changed. We're waiting on the
I
judgment
think
from the
that
court.
was an error in the date, because we gave him a 6-month. He was supposed to come back in 6 months.
We may wanna
supposed to
look at-
It
extend
said on the minutes that he was to be back in January for a review.
Then I think we need to make a motion.
Sounds right, but you have to get the minutes. We should probably find out before we
Yes.
make a decision. We should find
I
out
will go
what
grab.
we're agreeing to.
The owner was with him here last.
Am I good?
John was here.
You're good, thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
I just couldn't
What
hear
John
back
said.
there.
The owner, John, was here, Herring, and John.
Yeah.
A 6-month thing sounds like, that sounds right, but.
We did do that.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. I didn't realize that.
And so what
that the
month
operator
would,
license was a year then, though.
Right.
I don't know.
So we gave him a short term because we.
yeah,
Because of his trial date. And if you're found guilty, we're not doing more.
Right.
Then our
Or we
interest
were
rate-
also under the,
So how
if
did
he
he have it?
violated
He
his.
just,
Right,
because he
is-
knew you were a
I wrote
supervisor?
release,
Is that why he
right.
texted you?
Seems okay, well,
I'm
so
assuming.
he is serving out.
I mean, I do know him briefly. He graduated Fort Atkinson a few years before me, so I do know of him.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah, he
right,
does.
yeah, good point, good point.
And that's why it's.
My number's on the board.
Yeah, I
We
know.
could
I
have
just,
got in this situation,
Right.
you know, awful people, but they can't handle it. Why don't you get away from it? We'll work it.
well, and he knew it should have been on in
Right, yep.
January, and,
Just my opinion.
So it's not
That would
his
have been
fault
far
that-
right.
I would too.
I mean, it wouldn't have even gotten on if he had not even texted, you know.
Correct.
So.
Correct, yeah. If he wouldn't have reached out to me and said, why am I not on the agenda? It would have just gone through.
but being
We forgot.
proactive, he could have called the week before and said, hey,
That's right.
But, I mean,
Well, that's
he maybe didn't even know what date we meet
Do we,
regularly,
we probably need Wendy here.
so.
I was gonna say, can we keep
I
moving
guess
forward? but-
I'm like,
without her.
even-
here,
don't-
I have it right here, I think.
By the way, Tom and David, please do keep your mics on until the meeting is officially adjourned.
They're
I
on.
was gonna tell that you guys at the last one, but I didn't get the chance to.
Oh.
Okay,
I was gonna say
Here.
it's on.
here I have it. John Henricks addressed the board to give his explanation for offenses listed on his operator's license application. The town of Oakland Board of Supervisors placed the following conditions. On a weekly basis, you must provide the town clerk with copies of your payment receipts for your secure continuous remote alcohol monitoring SCRAM ankle device. Your license will be reviewed at the January 2026 town board meeting to determine whether you may continue engaging in the licensed activity for the remainder of the license year and June 30th, 2026. If you fail to comply with these conditions, you will surrender your license to the town clerk, and your license will otherwise be deemed revoked.
Okay, so we wanted a review period
Yes.
today to get him to June, basically, because that's when his official license ends in June.
Yeah,
That sound right?
his license is good until June, it sounds like, and we would,
review it now.
I do have a question now. You said Michael was here before. What did Michael think about potential liability for the township if,
I asked that exact question, and he was fine with it.
I asked him today, and he did not feel that if something happened that the town would be liable.
okay, because that would be my concern, that
It was our concern.
people
We
would
asked.
come back
We
after
asked the
the
question.
town.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I'm not saying you didn't.
Yeah, we did. I mean,
Okay, okay, you're nodding like I'm a fool over here or something, and
That would really
I'm
be-
just saying.
that
Don't
would
take it
be
personal.
bringing a
I'm
high
just
hand of the law way
reiterating
too
what
far.
I talked about in
Okay.
the last meeting.
And that's fine, but I wasn't here, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, we
Okay,
did.
all right, that's fine. So,
So where does that put us now?
so do we really even have to do anything? Because his license is still valid unless we revoke it, is my understanding.
It'll expire in June if you leave things the way they are.
Right.
It sounds like from the motion, now you correct me if I'm wrong, If we do nothing, it just continues. We're reviewing it now.
Right.
If we choose not to do any action, then that just continues
Right,
to
that's
June.
my
That would be my
understanding as well. We
understanding
don't
from
really have to
reading
do
that as
anything
well.
on it.
All right.
Right?
I
Okay.
agree with you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for checking that out, Laura, or Wendy.
Unless somebody wants to make a motion to do something.
Well,
I don't think we have to.
I don't think we have to. I don't think we've got the authority.
I hit the mic. Didn't mean to do that, sorry.
Okay, sorry about that, people.
Didn't mean to blow any ears out there.
And thank you for helping us walk through this. We will move on then to discussion and possible action on Resolution 2026-1, resolution authorizing Lake Ripley Boat Launch Improvement Grant applications. You have that on your desk. I was working on this with Justin Gutowski from Strand. So this is a formality that's required by the grant application. So it's just in resolution form of all that we have done as far as our approvals, and then also that if we receive these 2 grants, that we would meet all the financial and other requirements set forth in those grant approvals. So it's just a formality of everything we have done up until this point.
Sounds like it's kind of a rubber stamp. I'll make a motion that we, let's see, what are we doing?
Resolution 2026.
Yeah.
We approve the resolution 2026-1, resolution authorizing Lake Ripley Boat Launch and Improvement Grant applications.
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none. All in favor of approval of Resolution 2026-1, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So I will sign this and give this to Justin to include in the grant application packets. All right. It's finally your turn. Discussion and
Long wait.
possible action on the final plat of the preserve at Oakland Phase 2. So you had that in your packet, and it looks like Ms. Schneider had given us larger copies of it all. So this,
Anything like mine, you need it bigger.
right.
Figure, yeah.
Did you want to me to do any explanation? Would you like to start?
I think just to keep it pretty simple, when we came to the planning committee meeting, David attended. Jimmy's heard a little bit here and there through the Lake Ripley Management District discussions. As far as what has changed and the reason we're coming before you, we have had a lot of builder feedback as well as customer feedback that they're hoping for larger lots. So when we initially came before the community, we did whatever the zoning minimum requirement was with the 80-foot by 80-foot. 60-foot would be the setbacks when you have 10 on each side. If you've got a ranch that's 56 or 58 feet and you add a third car stall, which is a minimum of 10, now your house doesn't fit. And so we were uncertain of the market from the perspective that there has not been a lot of homes sold in this area in quite some time that gave us enough projections for price point. If we knew out of the gate that we were going to be 7 to 1.2 million, which is where we're sitting right now with the homes going in there, we would have started with bigger lots. So we really do want to have a nice mix of sizes and price points because we want to welcome people who are first-time buyers. We didn't want to be so exclusive right out of the gate that we prevent that with the way that we're priced and what we include. So most of you, other than Wendy, have been around here long enough to know we started as Oakland Hills. We changed to the preserve at Oakland. But if you look at the 4 maps on the back wall, relatively the layout of all of them has stayed the same. There have been some changes with shifting of easements. There's been a reduction in the lot numbers. The density has gone down. Phase 1 was 45 lots. It will now be 42. And what we're doing by going to this Phase 2 plat request is we're taking and giving people the ability to buy now and not have to wait for a CSM that they have to privately pay for in order to get a larger lot. So someone could come to me tomorrow and they could say, Deanne, I'll take lot 16, but only if you make it 10 feet wider. You know, and they'd have to go through that whole process and the expense. So because the feedback was so high that people were looking for that, John thought, you know, I would rather just spend the money right up front, go ahead and push to Phase 2 approval, and speak to the nature of what we're selling in here and just get it done with that. Our home starts right now has been interesting. We got approved in June. We got recorded in July. Infrastructure and everything happened. We were able to start pulling permits in September, but the builders who attempted had a lot of hurdles, and so the first permits were pulled in October. So we have 3 in the ground right now. We have 1 that will be going in the ground in about a month and a half. And interestingly enough, it's lot 41 next to the emergency exit.
Really?
I thought that would be one of the last ones
Yeah.
to sell, but yeah, it's sold. And we do have quite a few others that are in play as well, which is great. So when you do a custom build and you write an offer on land, you generally have a 90 to 120 day contingency time frame due to how long it takes a builder to draw and design your plan, and then a good month and a half to 2 months of the bid process, and then about a month to close a construction loan and pull it together. So our traction, we're excited because the traction that we have right now, 2 of the homes that are in the ground are Parade of Homes for 2026 in June. And that's very exciting to us. It's exciting to the community. We believe it's going to bring a lot of attention to the area. Typical, you see over 10,000 people that come through the parade, so that's exciting. Some of the things that have happened that you've probably seen and witnessed, the entrance sign, we constructed that in August. It was very fun. We did all the stonework and everything as a group and brought in the big cranes, got that done. The landscaping is something that we put in hundreds of trees. Did a lot of work there that, you know, they're small right now, but they're going to be lovely. So the infrastructure work has held mostly well. We have 2 minor repairs that we're doing. One of them is the culvert in the entrance. As you pull in on the left-hand side, the elevation was set a tad low. That'll be raised to be properly done in the spring. The other change, the north pond, there was a clay liner. It went in, it was inspected. Strands engineer did a site visit. Water seemed to hold initially, but then there was a heavy rain, some erosion washed some of that clay. And my husband actually drones out there regularly, and we watched that the water's just not holding. So we will be having gallets going back to do that repair as well in the spring. So that's kind of the why behind why we're coming to you now. We don't have enough lots that have sold yet that we're going to do the infrastructure, as much as we want to make sure that we have the ability to be selling the renumbered and wider lots in the infrastructure that exists in Phase 1. When we're right about the 20 mark of sales that are closed and ready to go, we'll have the funding to move forward into Phase 2. So that's the anticipated trajectory. We have revised, and the plan has been reviewed by everyone, as well as Matt at the county. That's done and ready to go. The sanitary district has reviewed and approved the sanitary plan, and then we do have the stormwater permit as well from WDNR. So we did obtain planning committee on the 6th. We're before you tonight. Jefferson County will be the 26th. And then we are waiting for the WDOT approval, which is why we don't yet have DOA. That's the only thing that they're waiting for. And what that was to be able to have that easement through the 5-acre parcel as a secondary backup emergency entrance should we terminate the temporary entrance on A. So other than that, Laura, I'm sure you've got some things you want to update. But
I think the main thing is that the roads and the general, and the layout of everything is not changing. So that's all stayed the same. It is just the lot lines that are changing. But we did have Strand review to ensure that that was the case, that nothing was changing, and do a complete review as far as the stormwater goes. And so phase 2 now will consist of the changes. It's in the final plat, you can see it. There's some, and on here you can see. So phase 2 is going to consist of the phase 2 that we all know, the pink here, but it's also going to include some of the lot size changes in phase 1. So if you do look at what we will be approving now is, you can see it on the final plat. It'll be phase 2, and then it'll go back and it'll include those additional lots. So basically when they took out some of these lot numbers, they had to renumber them. And they started with what was ending at phase 1. So it's kind of confusing. It goes down now to lot 53.
it starts at 46. We did
46.
have 45 lots in phase 1. So
Okay.
they started with 46, went through 53 up top there on blue violet. The other changes would be 55, 54 and 55 right next to lot 30. Those were widened, and then 69 through 71. So basically, after 15 up at the top, 15 through 21, so there were 5 lots, there are now 4. Down, if you look at 12 and lot 6, there were 5 there are now 4. 54 and 55, those numbers didn't change. We did go through 32. Those are just wider, and it's pushed further down. And then 69 through 71, there were 4 there, and there are now 3. So we went from 45 improved ready-to-go lots in phase 1 to 42.
Okay. And so the layout, like I said, is exactly the same. The ponds are in the same location. They did change the pipe that connects the pond in the north and then the pond in the middle in phase 2, but Strand did look at that and everything else and did sign off on that. As part of this, Outlot 5 is intended to also be donated to the Lake District, and then there is an easement in there that is changing slightly, so those agreements will also need to be done, as well as some changes to the stormwater management agreement, as well as developers agreement that we will get to next. But those are the main changes. So in the planning committee, since they were keeping everything the same, except for reducing the number of lots, the planning committee felt that they would recommend moving forward with this to the town board. And we have that decision sheet in your packet as well.
So how do you want to?
I can make, does anyone have any questions as of now? Let's continue with that.
Where are the multifamily affordable homes?
Not here.
What?
I know, sorry, but not here.
You don't have multifamily.
No.
Current ones are.
I know.
That was the
Well,
initial.
I wanted elderly housing.
Elder.
Multi-generational is what
We
they've
need to
got
work
started.
on that as a township. It's part of the zoning restrictions or the preventer there.
Yeah, you explain that.
Truly, you know, if we want to have that, I called my old colleague at Horizon Development because I started my career, I started my career at Horizon, and I did senior affordable housing. where I wrote grants for Section 42. So that's where my heart was when I started. And reaching out to Deb at Jefferson County, and then reaching out to Scott Kwasinski at Horizon. We're not in the area where they would even approve any grants at this time. We're growing. We're growing. Jefferson County is the 5th fastest growing county in Wisconsin, so we're growing. But the infrastructure is lacking with proximity to hospitals, to senior centers, even having one grocery store. There's just a lot of reasons when you put together a WIDA grant, they look for those things. So even when you're talking just how large of an apartment complex with the type of zoning we have right now, unless we put in a PUD and went through that process, a 4-unit is the largest that we could do. So that's why we moved away from it.
Right. All right, so any other questions? Okay, I'm going to make the motion because it's contingent on different things, and I got this from our attorney. I move to approve the final plat for Oakland Hills subdivision, Phase 2 plat, with the conditions that 1, a developer's agreement amendment and stormwater maintenance agreement amendment are approved by the town board. The driveway easement referenced on the plat is recorded with Jefferson County Register of Deeds. The memorandum of understanding with Lake Ripley Management District is recorded with Jefferson County Register of Deeds, and all comments from Jefferson County are added.
A second?
Okay, any further discussion?
So is this the final plat?
Yes.
I thought there were 3.
There's 3. So when we did our preliminary plat map, we got the prelim approved, which is the very first one. Actually, the second one there is our preliminary plat. With the concept that what we would do, Joy, is each time we were ready to go, that we would get each phase approved. So phase 3 will be in the future once we've materially sold through all of 1, a good chunk of 2.
So
and we'll
this
be
is
coming
not the
back to
final
you for
plat.
phase 3.
Yes, this is the final plat for Phase 2.
2.
So we already
Okay.
approved the preliminary plat for the entire subdivision. And then we're just going back and getting the final plat for each
Okay.
phase.
So I thought, what's the beginning of your motion again?
Hold on a second.
The final plat of,
Phase 2. So I move to approve the final plat for Oakland Hills subdivision. I
yeah,
guess it's
so
not
that should
preserve.
say
The
phase
preserve at
2.
Oakland.
The preserve
It
at
does.
Oakland. My apologies. Phase 2 plat.
Under 14, it does say Phase 2.
So it should say phase 2.
It does.
It does.
It does. I did
Oh.
say
All of
Phase 2.
them.
They all do on here, yeah.
This right here technically is what,
I know, but I
Is what
just
you're
wanted to
getting.
make sure the
Yeah.
motion was,
Yeah, to approve the final plat for Phase 2,
okay,
With those conditions. that
with
she
those
made.
conditions.
correct. I skimmed over the phase 2 word.
Oh, okay, all
I
right.
didn't hear that when you
Oh, not a
read the
problem.
motion.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Any other comments? Okay, we have motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Great. So now we will move on to discussion and possible action on development agreement for the Preserve at Oakland Development Phase 2.
Stay there.
Are you
Yeah.
Well, you got another one, too.
I guess I would just ask, has Michael, I assume he's reviewed and approved both of these, right?
Yes, of course. The
they're already done it.
So the development
for me.
agreement
Yeah.
it is just an amendment, and the amendment is really twofold. The first one is really just about the renumbering. So it lists in here what the new numbering system is, what the coordinates are, because it did kind of change slightly. And then the other item that changed is, before it was just John Didion as the developer and owner of the property. He was the only signature on here. However, since lots have been sold, those now lot owners will need to approve and have a signature page on here. So there's a couple of of this right now, but any that, that have also bought since this time or before the recording, we will need to include a signature for them. So I do have a
And
motion.
as a heads up to that, the whole reason for this colorized version of the map and that narrative you see dated 10/23 is that was something that actually I had signed with offers to purchase, giving the intent of what was happening to those buyers at the time.
Okay, good.
So they're all aware, it's not gonna be a surprise when it comes time for them to sign that
Okay.
document.
And that is something that they will need to do, and they will sign it, and they will have to have it, all of those signatures for the recording of the developer's agreement and the stormwater agreement, and those will need to be included with the recording of the final plat. So that's really, so it's just an amendment. Everything else that talked about how it needed to be developed and the roads done and so forth, that, none of that is changing at all, just the lot numbers. Any questions about that? Okay, so I will make the motion per our attorney. I move to approve the developer's agreement amendment with the conditions that any other new lot owners are added as a signing party to the agreement prior to recording with Jefferson County Register of Deeds.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a
Second.
second. Tom?
Tom.
Yep. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. We will move on now to discussion and possible action on stormwater management for the Preserve at Oakland Phase 2. So it's the same idea. It is just an amendment to discuss the changes to the lots. No other requirements are changing. Everything that's required by the HOA for managing the stormwater and what needs to be done for construction of them, none of that has changed at all. That remains. So it's just what you see here with the lot lines and the numbers. And again, anyone who has bought a lot by the time of the recording will also have to have a signature on those amendments. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, I will make the motion to approve the stormwater management amendment with the condition that any other new lot owners are added as a signing party to the agreement prior to recording with Jefferson County Register of Deeds.
Second?
Okay, a motion and a second by Jimmy. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye?
Aye. Opposed? Okay,
Thank you all.
motion carries.
Enjoy
Thank you.
Thanks for
Enjoy the
coming.
grandbaby.
I know I have to go, I actually.
Yep. Thank you, you too.
Thank you. You can have a cupcake if you want. There's cupcakes back there. If you want a cupcake.
Okay.
Do you want these back?
No, you can have them, that's okay. That's fine, are you just gonna throw them away?
You're supposed to pick out your
I
lot,
probably won't
Joy.
keep it.
Pick out your lot, Joy.
Pick out your lot.
In case you want one.
Okay.
I either go to the
I'm going to keep these in case I get any comments from residents. Okay, so we will move on to the Enbridge update. So they are now on a quarterly sampling period, monitoring of their private wells within a half a mile, the stream, and the groundwater monitoring wells, and the one potable well. They are all monitored now on a quarterly basis. And those were all done in December, and the results have come in now. So for the private wells, the sampling is, like I said, within a half-mile radius, and they collected samples from 10 wells on December 2nd, and And the good news is no contamination was detected there, so the wells don't show any signs of contamination. The surface water samples of the stream that runs adjacent to the site were sampled. They had split samples that were taken between Enbridge with their consultants, GEI, and Leanna Spencer, the Lake Ripley Management District Manager. And she had her samples too, taken at the same time. So there were 4 samples along that creek, upstream, 1 at the site, and then downstream. The only contamination, the constituent in the stormwater samples for GEI, and was similar with the Lake District, was styrene at very low levels in the most downstream sample. No other VOCs or pHs were detected. So styrene is not a constituent of crude oil. So it is a constituent of plastic. So, most likely it's not from the spill. It could just be from something off the road, most likely, since the road is right there. So it's nothing that, of course it'll continue to be monitored, but it seems like it's a one-off there with just off-site contamination and not due to the spill. The groundwater sampling was conducted on December 15th through the 17th, so they had 18 monitoring wells and the potable well. No VOCs were detected in any of the wells, which is good news. They did have very low levels of just a couple of pHs in 2 of the wells and the potable well. So it has not, one is to the west of the spill area, and one is to the east going towards the stream, but they have had contamination in those already. That's what they've seen. They're very low levels, and no other wells have any contaminations detected at this time. So that's good news. It doesn't look like it's migrating closer to the stream at this time, so they will just continue to monitor all of this. I did talk to Caroline Rice, the project manager at the DNR. They are in compliance with their investigation plan and submitting everything on time. So they feel that everything is moving along as required. I also did talk to Sean Gallagher, the Enbridge rep, and we had talked about the soil vapor extraction. So he has stated that the design report is scheduled to be submitted in March, and then they'll go through the DNR period, and then construction, and then the installation in June and July. So that will get started. So in addition to all of the contaminated soil that's been removed, as well as the oil extraction in those risers right by the spill, this will also help reduce the contamination that's still remaining in the soil. So that should get done in June and July. So that would be a really great thing. The sooner we can get that done, the better. And so that is the plan now. And according to Caroline, that schedule is acceptable. So they are on track. So that is the good news. There's still contamination there, but hopefully that continue to stay contained. But we'll just have to keep on monitoring it. As I mentioned last month, they did do some upgrades right to their system. So that should help not only detect any spills in the future, but help prevent them. So that is a really important step in all of this. And so I presented that to the Lake District too. So Jimmy was happy to hear about that.
Yeah, absolutely, because that was one of the big things we talked about in our open session.
Right.
Is why can't they detect the flow coming in and detect it going out? And if there's a difference, obviously we got a big problem, right?
Right,
So they are working on that, and they did install that. And the only other thing I'd like to say, Laura, is can we sometime, maybe in the fall timeframe, try to have another meeting with them so they can come in and talk to everybody? I think it's been a year right now, right?
It's been not quite. They came in
Well,
January,
I mean, since
and
the
then
spill, it's been a year, right?
Yeah, it's been a little over a year since the spill. They came in January, and then they came, I think, in March, somewhere in that time frame. And so I did ask him that once the SVE system is installed, that might be a good time. So I encouraged him to think about that, and hopefully they will
That'd be
come on
great.
out. I did bring that
Yeah,
up to them.
thank you.
So yes, thank you for reminding me about that. I did do that. So hopefully they will come, and I will continue monitoring. If anyone has any questions from the public, they can always reach out to Caroline at the DNR. There is a website that anyone can look at. All the reports are uploaded to their Berts on the Web, so all is available to anyone who would like to see it. And anyone can come contact me too, and I can help them understand whatever, help them with any questions they may have.
And we're going to continue as a Lake District to take our samples the same as we always have. So we send our samples to an independent lab in Madison, and they send their samples to their lab, and we compare those
But it's
results
not,
together.
their lab, not Enbridge doesn't have its own lab.
Their contract.
Another certified lab, which is, I think they send it to Pace Analytical, which is a longstanding, very reputable place. They're not in question at all.
Still, it's good, I think, that the two of them.
Yeah, it's nice to have those duplicate samples. Yes, most definitely. It gives everyone a lot of confidence that that is being done. So yes, it's a good thing. And then and they agreed. Leanna was going to talk to Enbridge about continuing paying for it.
Yes, we did do that. I have not heard the answer to that yet.
Okay. All right. And I had told Leanna if she needed anyone to advocate for that, that I was happy to reach out to my contact.
That'd be helpful.
Yeah, I think it's important to do that. Okay. We'll move on to approval of disbursements. That is on your desk.
The reason I included this sheet was in case you look at some of the disbursements in here, we had to do the tax settlement for January. And you'll see if you look at the disbursements, we're at $1,834,000. A lot of that has to do with the tax settlement payments that we had to make to like Jefferson County or to Cambridge School District or some to the Lake District. So if you wanted any information about where those disbursements, where the amounts came from or anything, they're all generated from this spreadsheet. But that is the reason that I included that, just in case anyone wanted to see it.
Yeah, this is new, right?
Thank you.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, this
No,
is
but I
helpful.
mean, it's January, it's always like that.
No, it's always this way.
Okay.
It's always this way.
January is
This is
always
the
like this.
first.
It's always the biggest.
Yeah, this is the first settlement, and then there will be another one coming up in February where we will settle for all of the money that we've collected through the end of January. And it'll be the same kind of thing you'll see happening then. And then all the tax collection will go to the county at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll make a motion that we approve disbursements beginning with electronic funds transfer to the Internal Revenue Service through and including check number 1856 to Workhorse Software in the aggregate amount of $1,834,385.17.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Joy. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. We will move on to announcements. We do have, there is one in your packet
The WTA.
for the Jefferson County Unit meeting for the WTA, and so that'll be in Sullivan on January 27th. So that's in Rome. Looks like the town of Sullivan, but I'm not quite sure. It says
I'm not
Sullivan
sure
and
where the
Rome.
town of Sullivan, well, they're kind of like,
There.
yeah, right there, so.
Keep going east, and you will find that. So keep that in mind if you would like to attend.
3 Romes in Wisconsin.
Is there?
There's also
All
3 town of
unincorporated.
Oaklands in Wisconsin,
Yes.
I've discovered.
Yes.
With
How many Oaklands?
Three.
There's at least 2, I know that.
Yeah,
There's
Three town
probably
of
3.
Oaklands in Wisconsin.
That's why we have a long email address with Jefferson in it.
So we got a check today for one that was addressed to town of Oakland in Webster, Wisconsin, which was not us.
Way up north, way up north.
So you took that to the bank immediately.
Please
Send the
deposit
check.
it right away.
Send the check, yeah.
Yeah.
The only other announcement that I have is we're getting a new voting tabulator. We took the old one and hauled it over to the county fairgrounds, and we will be picking the new one up on Thursday, and it was very heavy and huge. It barely fit in the back of my vehicle, but So we'll be getting some training on the new tabulator on Thursday, and the ballots are supposed to be here hopefully by the end of the week in time for the spring primary.
Great.
Okay, there's a February vote for like 30 people. What's that?
We have 39 registered voters in the town of Oakland that belong to the city of Lake Mills, or the Lake Mills School
Do
District.
they have to come here for?
So they can come here, yeah, we'll have to have that, even though there's only that few, we will still have to have the polls open just like we normally would.
Sure. So you have to have the same poll workers and everything. You have to have
We're
as
gonna
many poll
do,
workers
I
as people
think,
that show up.
3. We have to have an odd number of
Okay.
poll workers, so we're thinking about just doing 3. I talked to Susan a little bit about it when we were talking about the type E notice that I had to get out and getting some things verified, and she said she thought 3 would be plenty, because just because we have 39 registered doesn't mean that
Doesn't mean
any of
any
them
of
will
them show up,
necessarily
right.
show up for it, so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do we have
How
any?
many do we have for the April?
Registered voters, I'm
No,
not
no,
su-
no, for the, how many running for the board?
We have just 2. We have Jimmy and we have Joni.
Joni McGowan, Merlin. She lives on Park Road.
Nobody else turned in any papers. There were 2 gentlemen that stopped in to pick them
I
up,
thought-
and
They were
they
too late.
didn't bring them back with any signatures.
Oh.
Huh.
The only signatures I got were from Joni and from Jimmy.
Okay.
I have, for the
Future.
Board of Review, do we know when that's going to be yet?
I will get you dates, because Dana sent me a letter asking for me to approve a couple of dates, and I can email them to all of you if you need to have them. It's my understanding for Board of Review that what we have to, I thought I was told the majority of the board has to be there.
Yes, we need at
And
least
we
3
need
people.
One
Trained.
certified
One
person.
trained.
And that, so we need to get that set up too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can train too. I think it's good in case, like, I didn't go last year's training because I got sick.
Okay.
But if we could have 2 people trained, just
You
in
went,
case
didn't
something
you?
happens the day
You
of.
did.
I
Okay.
was the only one trained
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, I think it would be
and
good
the
to
year
have
before,
multiple
the year
people,
before.
just in
Don't you wanna
case.
go?
I went once.
I will email all you guys tomorrow the
I've been
dates
there-
that Dana, the
I've been
assessor,
trained more than
has
once.
given me for that, so you've got it.
Okay.
So what I think I'm gonna
Easier
do
to keep a
is
liquor license.
have you sign me up for the virtual,
That's fine.
Okay.
so
I
I'll
had my
get
bartender
to
training
you
back
I did.
in 80.
to get that settled.
Yep,
Like that
that's no
81.
problem.
That has to be done by, we'll talk about it later.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
that's not a problem, Joy. Just bring it over and I'll get you signed up for it.
Thank you.
Do we have any correspondence?
I do not have any correspondence.
Okay. Okay, future
Agenda.
agenda items. We will have an update in the future for the Cable Commission, and then we also will be having Laura Lowry and Wendy are putting together a list of ordinance amendments that's one of the reasons why we did the code of ordinances, because we will have to change some of the ordinances that have dollar amounts in the ordinance for penalties. That means we can't change them. So we'll be submitting some, there's quite a few of them, so we won't be doing all of them at one time, but a few at a time. We will need to be approving an amendment so that we can take the dollar amount out of the ordinance and put it in the fee schedule, and then we never need to do it again. So those will be starting, do you
We're
think?
going to work, we're trying to figure out a way that makes the most sense to group them together. So we will try to get maybe a few of them ready for the next meeting. I will talk to Laura tomorrow when
Okay.
she comes in.
Okay, and
That's
I'm
an ongoing project, right?
It is an
It's gonna
ongoing
be a-
project because there are quite a few
Yes.
of them with flat dollar amounts in that will have to be changed.
right.
Are
But
you
then-
going to put the Cable Commission on February meeting?
Well, I just said we'll put it on update. Yeah, if you provide everything.
I would
Then we
like to
will.
make a motion that we have the Cable Commission on the agenda, especially with having it in open session regarding the check that's being held, that's dated from Charter for November 7th, 2025. I'd like to have, I'm making a motion to have discussion and action on disbursement of that check in our February meeting.
Okay. I will amend that motion to say on the condition that the directive of the majority of the board
You
of
can
the...
amend my motion?
First of all,
I don't believe you can amend my motion.
first of all, how can we have a motion of something that's not on the agenda?
I
How do
talked
we
to the
get- how do we get
Wisconsin
it on the
Towns
agenda?
Association today and said that
asking.
I've been refused to have it on the agenda, that I asked for it to be on this agenda for today. I talked to the attorney at the Wisconsin Towns Association, and she said to make a motion to have it placed on the, she said I could have make a motion to have a special meeting.
That's
And-
probably not a bad idea.
Well, February 16th is our next meeting, and in order to give the commission some time to do a little bit more research and follow what Laura wants.
No. The majority of the board gave a directive at our last
But
meeting.
it wasn't in an open session.
It does not matter. I talked to Michael. A directive was given about what we wanted to have as part of a meeting so that we had enough information to make informed decision. And that was directive of this board.
And I
And
wrote
all
down
of you-
everything that was directed of me, and I gave you
No,
everything
that
was
is not
in-
true.
Okay, we don't have minutes. I was given the information from the attorney at the Towns Association.
I understand that.
There are no minutes, there's no recording, there was no motion, and there was no vote. So I am making a motion that it be on our February 16th meeting.
And I am going, okay, we can vote on that then?
Do I have a second first? Is anybody willing to second my motion?
I'll second it.
I believe I can amend that. I would like to amend that.
We have a motion and it's been seconded.
I understand that. And I believe that we can make an amendment to that. I would like to make an amendment.
Can make an amendment to a motion, yes.
I would like to make an amendment that,
Okay, I will
Before
talk
we
to
Oh, hold on,
Before we vote
one at
on
a
it?
time here. Laura, go ahead.
I would like to make an amendment that by February 9th, we have, in accordance with Village Ordinance 2.76, Cable Commission duties, that we have a complete report by February 9th so we can have a productive conversation and make informed decisions to be put on the agenda. That is something that is required by an ordinance, and I would like to see that.
Okay. Okay. I'll second it. So we have to vote on the amendment. If this is the route we're going, if this board is going to approve a motion that's not on the agenda, then that's what we're doing. But
Well, I had a consultation with an attorney for the Towns Association. She said I could request it to be on per motion.
Okay.
So tomorrow I will talk to that attorney again.
I'm letting you make the motion. I already had said we would put it on there with the,
Okay, we're having discussion on this amendment now? Why can't we have discussion, an initial discussion on,
we did have a discussion.
not an open session? We
We're-
have to be more open. That's what everybody is saying. We're not open enough. Everything, why did we have the initial talk about the Cable Commission in closed session anyway?
wait.
This
We
is not.
can't talk
we
about
can't
closed
talk about
session
this.
now.
We're not talking about closed session.
Laura has emailed me anything that she has emailed me, I can talk about, because that's.
Is your goal to have a meeting about the commission?
And I said,
Talk about the check and the commission. We're holding on to a check from November 7th,
Correct.
2025. How
Okay.
long can you hold a check?
The check
A
has
paper
been
check.
deposited
Oh, now it's been deposited.
into our account until a decision is made on what is going to be done with the funds. So we don't have to worry about it being stale dated. That is taken off the table. But the deposit,
We were
okay, we are
talked
getting
about
into,
holding the check, not depositing the check.
we are getting
It's
on.
not on the agenda.
This is
I
not
don't
on
feel
the
comfortable
agenda.
about that.
I do not. It would
Okay.
be on the agenda.
I will-
Please provide the information that the directive of this board had suggested, had stated at our last meeting. That is acceptable even without a vote, and also the requirements set forth in the ordinance. Please
Okay,
provide that.
I would like to know what the directive was given at the closed session.
We can't discuss closed session at this time
We cannot
in
discuss
an
it right
open
now.
meeting.
Laura
Just-
gave me a whole new directive.
Why don't we get back to what the root of your interest is? If I'm
I
hearing you
want-
correctly, you want to have a meeting about the commission.
Right, just an initial meeting
And
Okay.
I just.
in
I
open session.
I just said it at the beginning,
But
that it
what if-
would be at a future agenda meeting. It was the first thing I stated, that we would have it.
Okay,
I
but-
just stated it.
Oh, whatever. I'm going to talk to the attorney again tomorrow.
Okay.
Please,
Let's
please
vote
do.
on
so.
So, future item is what
We
you just
already
mentioned,
said,
right?
we already said that it
So
would be
with
on
her,
a future.
future item of anything I've requested can be 6 months from now, just like the short-term rental.
Okay. But
That's my problem.
if the chair is
I don't
telling us
want
that
this
it's
to
going to
go-
go on the agenda for the next month, then that's what we're hearing.
Just please, I'm asking to provide the information that was asked for as a directive by the board and as the requirement of the ordinance, that on an annual basis.
See, that's a new thing.
That is not a
That was
new-
not directed by the board. The board didn't even know about that village ordinance in
And
our
why
closed session.
didn't you?
In our closed session, there was nothing said about that
Okay,
ordinance.
I am saying it now because the ordinance, I did say it, the ordinance is there. It's an annual requirement of the commission to provide this for the town. And I am requesting that the report that is required as part of this ordinance, please be provided to the town as part of the
Who
discussion.
provides it? Who has to provide it?
The commission.
Okay.
The Cable Commission has, according to the ordinance, has to provide an annual report. And all I'm asking is that at the meeting, we have that report in advance to look through, to be part of the discussion. That is all I am asking for.
And if you don't get it, you're not going to put it on the meeting, on the agenda. Is that what you're saying?
I'm asking for you to put it on there as part of our discussion.
If you don't, if the commission is not able to do a complete report like that, you won't put it on the agenda. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that we need the, yeah, we have to, if we have enough information to have a discussion.
Even if we're just to talk about initially what's going on.
We can, but if we don't have enough information, then there won't be anything to discuss, is what I'm asking. I'm just asking to have this.
Whatever.
Okay. It's required as part of the ordinance, as a long-standing member of that
But
commission.
that's not what you had initially, that's not the directive of the board at our closed session.
I'm asking for that now because it is a requirement of the commission. So I am saying, in addition, can we please have that? You all three are on this commission. You should know the ordinance, that this is a requirement. I am asking you
It's
to
a village
fulfill your,
You're
ordinance.
saying that we have an ordinance?
No.
the village
You
has
said
an ordinance, but it
village.
does say that the commission, which consists of the three, will provide the village and the town a written report. It is in section 2.76 of their ordinances. All I'm asking is that you fulfill the requirements of the commission.
Someone's got to get the report.
Well, I'm going to call a commission meeting.
Okay.
Plus talk to the attorney that I talked to today that said this wouldn't be a problem.
Okay, that's fine. All I'm asking for is what is required.
Let's vote.
What are we voting on?
You seconded it
I'm
Laura had
confused
made
too.
an amendment to your
to my
to your
motion.
motion.
I guess she's telling me that she can amend my motion.
Well, anybody can amend a motion if the motion's legal, which is not on the agenda. I don't feel comfortable with this.
The Towns Association.
I didn't talk to
attorney-
the town.
Well, you evidently talked to Michael today. He didn't have a problem with it evidently
I
either.
asked, no, I didn't talk to him about that. What I talked to him about was we gave a directive, do we need to have a vote for the directive? And he said no. We were asking for information to understand our responsibilities. That's what was asked of us, and I am saying we can discuss it. I'm just asking for the information to put it on there. It is reasonable so we can discuss it intelligently. I guess my question to you was, why are you unwilling not to provide information?
I am willing
Okay,
to provide what I can find, what we can find as a commission.
okay.
But I still want to discuss the check that is
We
being
will
held.
talk about the check as part of the discussion.
And
I
if-
just said that multiple times.
Well, I know, but if you're not going to put it on the agenda if we can't get the full report. I've given you everything that I had in my notes that was directed by the board in the closed session.
We're going to hold the check until we find out more and decide what needs to go on from here. I was told, do not cash it, do not do anything with it.
Right.
Your comment then was that you thought the check was going to be stale dated. You mentioned that when you were in
All I
there
said
with.
was, when do we need to know?
Right, right. Your concern was about
I
it
didn't
being.
direct you to cash it
Okay.
and put
Your
it in our
concern was
account.
about it being stale dated. So this
And that's
takes,
why I wanted it on the agenda.
so that
Okay.
takes that concern away.
All right,
The
so,
check is cashed, the funds are being held. They're not being spent, they're being held.
Okay.
okay.
Vote.
All right. Their next meeting is going to be February 17th.
So we're not going to vote on the motion?
I don't know
then?
what we can.
What is the motion? What is the motion,
First of
so
all,
I can spell it out?
Let me ask you a question. If we agree to put it on the agenda for next month, will you revoke your amendment and will you revoke your motion?
If it is going to be on the agenda, so we
For
can
next
have an initial
Okay,
discussion.
hold on.
Okay.
Laura, will you put it on the agenda for next month?
I will put it on the agenda, but what I am requesting for is for some additional information.
Okay, and if we don't have the information?
I can put it on the agenda, but
Okay.
Okay,
we'll
but-
see what we can
okay, all right,
discuss
okay.
it.
But you're saying,
Are you okay
you're
with
saying
that?
if it's not on the
As long
agenda, we
as
can't
it's
speak
on the
about it.
agenda, so we
So you
can talk
can't get the
about
more
it.
details of what's going on because it's not on the agenda.
No, I don't know.
That's confusing as hell.
I don't know. I'm just requesting the information that
We
is
went to a commission
required.
meeting, we got some
I'm just-
information.
I'm
That's not on the
I
asking-
agenda,
gave
so
her
we can't talk
everything
about it.
from the commission meeting. I gave her a spreadsheet of the number of views from now on everything that they've recorded for the village and
But
Let's
what-
just put it
the
on the
town.
agenda, and we'll have a discussion. If we don't have the information, we
We'll move
won't
on.
be able to make a decision.
Right.
That's
If we-
right.
Okay,
That's
but at
what-
least we
that's
can talk
all
about it.
I'm
Okay.
asking, but
It's
every
okay?
time I ask her to do
Joy,
that,
That is
she
true.
does not do it.
Okay.
That's not
We're all in
true.
agreement, I think. Are
Okay,
you
good.
okay to withdraw your motion?
I will withdraw my motion as long as it's on the agenda.
Okay, Laura,
Okay,
you withdraw your amendment to the motion?
I'll withdraw it.
Okay. I'll second the withdrawal of both motions. Let's get
Okay.
this gone and get it on the agenda. We got to vote on that. Let's vote on that so that's done, because I'm not sure that's right anyway.
Okay. All right, anything else? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, second?
I was ready for that.
We need a
Every
second
week.
on the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion to enjoy